Have you ever met someone who could turn a happy home into a war zone with just a few words? Meet Binodini, a true master of manipulation. She doesn't just enter a household. She methodically occupies it, claiming space in everyone's mind. Watch closely. She whispers compliments to Mahendra, feeding his ego until he's wrapped around her finger. She befriends the innocent Asha, becoming a trusted confidant, only to dismantle her world from the inside. She expertly plays on every weakness, every insecurity she finds. She turns a stable home into her own personal battlefield. But why does she do it? Is it for revenge? For love? Or is it simply because she can? Binodini is strategic, disruptive, and she knows the deepest vulnerabilities of those around her better than they know themselves. What do you think drives her? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more deep dives. Is she a monster for destroying a marriage? Or a genius for refusing to be a ghost? In 1903, the great Rabindranath Tagore gave us Binodini, a woman who was simply too much for her time. She was too educated, too intelligent, and far too alive for the quiet, invisible life of a young widow. Society wanted her to fade away. For over a century, readers have debated, was she a selfish homewrecker, refused, or a tragic heroine fighting a system designed to crush her? In this video, we're going to peel back the layers of the woman they called Chokher Bali, the eyesore. We'll explore her choices, her desires, and the impossible situation she found herself in. So, stick around as we decide once and for all if Binodini was a villain or a victim. Is Binodini truly a villain, or is she a survivor? To understand her, we have to travel back to 1903, a time when a widow was considered socially dead. Stripped of color, denied simple pleasures like certain foods, and forced into invisibility. This was the reality. Her life was declared over, but Binodini was anything but over. She was brilliant, literate, and fluent in English. She possessed a mind and a spirit that refused to be extinguished by the stark white sari she was forced to wear. So when we look at her actions, her manipulations, and her so-called villainy, we need to look deeper. It's not just about malice. It's a desperate, defiant scream for visibility. It's the rebellion of a woman who was told to disappear, but chose to fight for her existence. Her story isn't one of simple wickedness. It's a tragic and powerful struggle to be seen. So we come to the final question, the one that hangs over this entire story. Is she the villain? Or is the society that caged her the real antagonist? Tagore masterfully refuses to give us an easy answer. He doesn't paint her as a saint or a sinner. Instead, he holds up a mirror to the world that created her. A world that demanded she be invisible, yet couldn't handle her brilliance. She represents a truth we often don't want to face, and that's her true power. That's why we're still talking about her 120 years later. She's the grain of sand in the eye, painful, irritating, but impossible to ignore. A character who is written to be unseen, but whose brilliance simply refuses to fade. What do you think? Drop your verdict in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives. Ever had a friend who seemed a little too perfect? Let us talk about one of literature's most iconic red flags, Binodini from Rabindranath Tagore's masterpiece, Chokher Bali. On the surface, she's a supportive best friend to the naive Asha. But underneath, a storm is brewing. Binodini's brilliant, charming, and deeply resentful of the life she was denied. She masterfully gaslights Asha, whispering words of friendship while plotting to steal her husband Mahendra. It's not about love, it's about proving her superiority. But here's the twist. The real hero isn't a knight in shining armor. It's Asha. Though forced into a life of silence and intellectual starvation, she is the only one who refuses to accept her fate. While others bow to destiny, Asha fights to reclaim her life and her agency, turning from a victim into a survivor. Who do you think is the more compelling character? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives. Let's talk about one of literature's most fascinating characters. Binodini, is she a villain or a victim? The truth is, she's both. And that's what makes her so compelling. On one hand, she is a master of emotional sabotage. She expertly uses the good-hearted Bihari, turning his genuine affection for her into a weapon. She knows exactly how to parade his kindness in front of Mahendra, purely to ignite his jealousy and pull his strings. It's a calculated and brilliant, yet heartbreaking power play. But before we judge her, we have to ask why. Remember the label society forced upon her, widow? The moment her husband died, she was essentially erased as a person. Stripped of her identity and humanity, her actions are a desperate fight against that erasure. She's not just playing games, she's screaming for her right to feel, to desire, and to exist beyond that single, crushing word.